Hey guys, it's Tinker Taylor here today, bringing you back another Pokemon build series video. Today we have Hoppip, who is a grass flying type. It's described as a cottonweed Pokemon. I'm not quite sure what that means, but it looks like, I guess the best way to put it is like a little cartoon cat sort of vibe shape thing. And it's sort of like a pink, think of like, berry flavored ice cream, that pink that it gets. It's sort of that color. And it's got these two green leaf stem stalk things coming out of the top of its head. And it just had a really happy expression on its face, and I guess when I saw this Pokemon, I immediately thought of a dog for some reason. Maybe because the dogs I currently live with are very much like this Pokemon, just very happy and cheerful and, just nice and fun and whatever. So I thought, why not build, like a little, a dog training facility. It's also like a dog adoption center, so yeah, I don't know, kind of like all sorts of different places in one. So in The Sims, I don't think this is exactly a usable build. I mean, you could definitely bring your dog here for training, because there's like the dog training, like the jumps and the I don't know what any of them are called, but the thing where they zigzag in and out of it, they go up and over like the seesaw thing. I put those in, so they're definitely helpful. But you also could use it as like an office space, I guess, because there is an office upstairs. And that's really kind of all I can think of that would be useful for animals here. Or at least dogs. There's nothing for cats here, so this is a purely dog place, which makes me a little sad because I am a cat person, but dogs deserve a space too. So yeah, I thought I'd build them a little dog sanctuary type thing. So yeah, I don't know, this is the build. I definitely had a lot of fun with it. It was very I don't know, like just interesting to try and figure out what I was doing, how I was going to do it, what I wanted to do. And yeah, I kind of just had fun with it. And I don't know, there's some builds that I do where I'm like, I just don't feel it, like I don't feel interested in the build, I don't feel excited by the build. But this one I did. It felt really, really fun and exciting to do. And I'm glad I did it, because it made me so happy. Like it just made me so happy to do something that made me feel good. A build where I was just, when you're building and you're like, this feels so right. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but this is fun and I'm enjoying it. And I don't always feel that when I build, so I was really, really enjoying this process. I did have an inspiration photo on, I don't know, I searched it up, and it was a really cute build. It was sort of vaguely this shaped. I don't know if the colours are exactly the same. I'll be honest, I don't really remember the image anymore, but I had a lot of fun with it. And I wanted to make it nice and colourful. Keep in mind that dogs, I don't think dogs can see orange. So this orange bit of the build they might not be able to see, but the blue they definitely will, because I put some blue and green in. But yeah, I don't know, I wanted to just have fun with the colours of this build, because I don't really use a lot of different colours. I don't use a lot of like, orange is my least favourite colour, so I rarely use it. But I really wanted to just have fun with it and use different things, different colours, different, I was gonna say different styles, but it's, I wouldn't say this is not, I've talked about this before, I don't know if I have a style. I don't know if there's something that you guys would look at and be like, oh yeah, that's you, that's your style. But this is definitely something I feel confident in and comfortable in, so I guess more, well, I was gonna say more modern, but I guess the word is less traditional. Those are the type of builds that I'm a lot more comfortable with. So, I don't know, that's probably where my, I was gonna say loyalties lie, but it's not even loyalties, it's just where I'm more comfortable. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting and curious thing to kind of try and figure out and explore of what I'm more comfortable with and what I'm not. And I do feel like I'm finding my groove, because there's definitely lots of build styles that I try and I just don't feel confident in them, or I don't like the look of them or whatever. But yeah, this sort of more modern, clean, simple look, that's definitely my comfort zone. So I definitely feel like you guys will probably see a lot more of this type of build in the future, but that's not going to stop me from doing other types of builds. Also, apologies if you can hear that car. I'm kind of... I'm definitely closer to a main road. The house I used to live in, I moved just a couple weeks ago. Not even a couple, like literally last week. But the road I lived on was very busy, but it wasn't meant to be a main road. It's just people used it as a cut through to skip the main roads. But now technically my street is up against the main road, and there's also construction going on. There's a new building going up, about a 4-minute I'd say a 4-minute walk, and it's going to be a while before they finish it. Like, the building has structure, but no, like, they haven't finished the walls and all that sort of stuff. Maybe they have. I don't know. I've not been paying that much attention to it, but they've been working on it. And it's going to be quite. I feel probably over a year before they even begin to work on the inside, and I'm kind of not excited about that because, yeah, a year's worth of listening to construction noises, not exactly my dream, not exactly what I want. But I am an early riser, so for me, they're not waking me up. I actually wake up before they start now. I've been waking up at 6 a.m. and I'm pretty sure the laws here say 7 a.m. is when they're allowed to start. Thankfully they don't go like too late. They're generally done kind of around when school finishes, which I don't think is like an intentional thing, but more like, you know, people starting at 7 a.m. You're not really going to have them going much beyond 3 p.m. I guess, because that's about 8 hours, right? If I counted correctly, I think that's about 8 hours. So yeah, thankfully it's not too long, it's not too loud, it's not too close. It's close enough that I can hear it, but hopefully you guys can't, because I've turned my settings on my mic down as far as I could without it losing my voice. I do know that I speak a bit quieter compared to other people, so I do know that, yeah, I can't turn it down too far, otherwise you just can't hear me. And I was gonna say I'm working on that. It's not necessarily that I need to work on it, but I'm being aware of it and trying to adjust mic settings and things like that to make sure that you guys can actually hear what's going on without me having to turn my microphone all the way up, and then in that case you'd only hear like construction noises and the sound of my room existing, because for some reason my mic is really good at picking up the silence in the background. You know, like if I stop talking you'll hear, I mean even if I do talk you probably still hear, it's not even silence in the background, it's just like general house noises, I guess. Probably you can probably hear my my PC and all the fans in it and stuff like that running. But yeah, if I turn it up any louder, it's just gonna get like that noise is gonna get louder, and I don't necessarily want that. So yeah, look, I'm gonna have a look into my mic settings again, try and play around with it. And you probably most definitely heard that truck. That's probably gonna be regular for the next however many months. But you know, it's fine. And I'm a lot closer to transport here at this house than I was the last one, which is good. But yeah, it also does mean hearing all of those wonderful, lovely noises. Also, I have gotten back into streaming, which means I'm working on many more builds now. I've been working on these builds, so this one I'm pretty sure I worked on majority of it. I think we've now started... No, not quite yet. Soon we will get to the part where I'm actually streaming the rest of this build. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of these builds off camera, and doing that, I I get very distracted very easily, so yeah, I found streaming has definitely helped me finish these builds. Like, I have finished a build and a half on a stream, and that's double the amount of building I did the day before when I didn't stream. So yeah, definitely gonna get back into the whole streaming thing, because it's definitely gonna keep me on track and hopefully get me back to being on time. Because yeah, I've mentioned this before in a previous video. I don't know, there was just a lot going on and I needed to take some time, so I did. And yeah, now I'm like a month behind. So I'm trying to desperately catch up. So I redid my schedule so that I could catch up, and I'm already behind that schedule. But I'm not really worried about it. It's one of those things where I'm just gonna build. You know, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna build. I'm just gonna edit. I'm just gonna upload. And when it happens, it happens. And when I've caught up, and I'm not gonna stress about it, because I know the more I stress about it, the further behind I'm gonna be. But I found editing to be really therapeutic. It's something that's sort of, I don't want to say mind-numbing, but also, yeah, kind of mind-numbing, because it's just basically me watching the video back and cutting out bits that need to be cut out. I do watch it back at a much faster speed than probably what you guys are even... Actually, no, it's probably at this speed. It's probably around this speed that I watch it back. So if there's anything that like jumps out as a awkward space or anything like that, I definitely do cut it out. I used to be really, really strict with it, to the point where I would count how long a pause or a break was, and if it was more than 4 seconds, I would cut it out. If it was less than 4 seconds, then I would leave it in. But now I'm like, is it visually annoying me? Because if it visually annoys me, I'll cut it out. And if it doesn't, then I'll leave it in. So you might see like tiny little pauses, but that's pretty much it. And a lot of the time when I'm thinking, I do move around. So yeah, I generally tend to leave those sorts of things in. But yeah, definitely let me know what you think about the editing style that I'm using, and if you like it or not. But yeah, this little room we're working on right here is supposed to be like a little, I don't want to say kennel, but like a kennel. I'm not really too sure what a dog kennel looks like in real life, and I don't like the idea of dogs being in tiny little cages, so I did make these little stalls, and I'm assuming these dogs are nice and friendly with each other. You know, they just like to hang out and whatever, but they've got their own little space to just go to sleep and relax and rest and whatnot. And these are dogs who are up for adoption, and yeah, they're just happy-go-lucky little guys. I don't know, like, I know not every dog is like that. Not every dog is, you know, very happy-go-lucky, and you know, not every other dog likes every other dog. But this is The Sims, so I wasn't too worried about that. But yeah, I imagined this, like, you know, you bring your dog here to train, you bring your dog here to socialise, and if you're looking for another dog, it's a great way to introduce your dog to that dog to make sure they get along, and yeah, hopefully it's like a good little chill space for everybody to hang out and be dog friends. I'm, again, not much of a dog person. I do live with dogs, and I have lived with dogs. Growing up, we had dogs, and yeah, there's just always, like, a lot of people have dogs, but I am 100% a cat person. I don't know, I prefer chilled, relaxed, quiet, and again, that doesn't mean dogs are bad, per se. I just think dogs are not for me, and I'm not for dogs. You know, dogs need exercise and going outside and, you know, all these sorts of things. I mean, it's mostly the going outside and going on walks. I don't have the energy for that. I don't really want to go for daily walks. Like, I do take myself on daily walks, but if I had a dog, it would either be not enough for that dog or too much, depending on the type of dog I got. Whereas with a cat, like, cats still need mental stimulation, they still need exercise, they still need play and all that sort of stuff. But with Macy, I can just play with her inside. You know, she's got toys, and she's got climbing trees and scratching posts, and, You know, she loves to cuddle up and hang out, and it's a much better lifestyle for myself. But I do know other people would prefer a more active and interactive pet, so dogs would be better for them. And, you know, the whole dogs versus cat debate, like, I don't think either one is better overall. I think it's just, is one better for you in particular? And for me in particular, cats are better. I don't know, like, a lot of people, I feel like the other thing with cats is a lot of people read cats as if they are dogs or if they are people. So when a cat slow blinks, people are like, oh, it's glaring, it hates me. And it's like, no, that's the cat saying it likes you. It's the cat giving you the slow blink of love and trust. Like, that's a good thing, you want that. Whereas dogs, like, from what I've learned, staring at a dog could be a sign of aggression. Showing your teeth to a dog is a sign of aggression. Like, these things, yeah, like, it just, you can't read dogs and cats the way you read the other one or the way you read people. You know, they're own individual creatures with their own individual actions and behaviours and whatnot, so, yeah. I don't know. And, you know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, like, when you greet a cat and it just walks past you and sits behind you with its back to you, like, oh, it's ignoring you. Like, no, that cat's guarding you. Like, that cat likes you because it's looking around and making sure you're safe. When a cat puts its back to you, that's a sign of trust. When a person does that, that's a sign, or it could be a sign of trust, but it's usually a sign of annoyance, or, you know, they're ignoring you, or they don't want to acknowledge you. And it's you know, again, you can't read animals the way you read people, because people and animals are very different. But yeah, that still didn't stop me from building a dog sanctuary retreat training ground type thing. I don't know, I really did have a lot of fun with this. This is something that, like, I don't know if I necessarily would ever build this again. A, because I'm proud of this, and B, because I just don't really see the need to. It's not even a usable build. Like, if it was a usable build, I'd probably do it again. And I could probably set it up as a vet next time if I did it, rather than a dog training ground. But, yeah, I don't know. If I was setting it up as a vet, I probably would. I could definitely renovate this place to set it up as a vet. But I definitely had a lot more fun with what I did. I don't know, like, a lot of time when I'm building, I just build for me. You know, I build what makes me happy. I definitely try to take into consideration what other people might want, and how to make it usable and whatnot. But yeah, a lot of the time I just build for me. Like, again, I do take other people into consideration. Like, if I'm building a house, I would not clutter the kitchen the way I clutter this one. But because this isn't a house, I'm not too worried about it. I don't know, it's one of those things where, like, if I think people are going to use it, I will take the usability of the build into account a lot more, versus if I think no one's going to use it, or if it's going to be, like, a useless build, then, yeah, I'm just going to do as I do. I'm just going to build as I build. So, yeah, I don't know, it's just one of those things where it's sort of, I kind of do what I want with the builds, but I do try and be considerate when necessary. But definitely let me know if there's anything I've done in this build that you would like me to not do in other builds in the future, especially if they're houses. You know, if it's a house, I'll definitely take that into consideration, because you guys would probably more likely use a house than this sort of build that doesn't make any sense and doesn't really have usability. I don't know, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just, I'm not too worried about it, but if you guys do have opinions and feedback, I definitely will take them on board for the builds that do, I was gonna say do matter, they all matter, but, you know, for the builds that are probably more likely to be used by you guys, because, yeah, like I said, I do want to take you guys into account. Like, I'll build whatever I want, and I'll style it however I want and whatnot, but I'll definitely try and take certain things into consideration, even if it is a stylistic choice. Even if you look at this build and go, like, oh, you used, I don't know, like, the wooden paneling, but the modern glass roofs, and they just don't fit together. Like, if that's your opinion, let me know. I'm definitely open to stylistic opinions and feedback, or even just, like, clutter, the way I've cluttered it, or how to make it more usable. Like these are all things I'm happy to take into account, because I'm not a game player. There's a lot of things that I would not understand, I would miss, it's not necessarily just, if you have feedback, definitely let me know down below. I'm definitely okay with taking it into account, but I feel like this one's not cluttered too bad. Like the kitchen, yes, and I know that the kitchen clutter is one thing that people do get annoyed at with builders, which understandable. Like, you don't want to spend 27 minutes just trying to find a clear surface just to be able to cook a meal for your sim family. But yeah, let me know anything else, because I'm always looking for that sort of stuff. Again, I'm not a game player, so it all kind of goes over my head, and I don't know what would be helpful. And even if it is a different build, like if you're listening to this one and you go and watch a different build and you see nothing wrong with this one, but you see something wrong in that one, let me know. I'm 100% open to you letting me know in any build what the issue is, because yeah, again, I do want to kind of take that all into consideration. I don't know, I like to evolve and learn more and do more with the builds. Like, it doesn't necessarily just have to be me building for me. I'm happy to take other things and other people and whatnot into consideration. So yeah, definitely let me know. Also, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of this furniture in this place is a repeat. That couch, that rug, that coffee table I use a lot. That plant I use everywhere. It's I'm not gonna lie to you guys, mostly laziness. I didn't want to have to keep finding new furniture that fit, and I liked that furniture, so I just went with it. It made me happy, so that's kind of all that mattered to me. But again, yeah, if you have any opinions and feedback on that, definitely let me know. Because sometimes I should not be so lazy, but sometimes I definitely am, because it's just easier and simpler. I think I said this on stream once about it. If you only have to think once, you don't ever have to think again. And that's kind of the approach I'm taking with my building at the moment. You know, I think about one couch, I find one couch, I use one couch. In some of my builds, I'm definitely like picking different things and not just using the same piece of furniture over and over again. But sometimes, yeah, I am 100% just using one item over and over again, because yeah, it's 1,000 times easier on my little pea brain. I used to get really bad headaches all the time and migraines and stuff like that, and then for a while they stopped, but they're slowly starting to come back. So I'm definitely trying to do less things to stress myself out and less things to cause issues with that. Because yeah, I don't necessarily want to stress myself out. I don't necessarily want to have issues with, you know, my brain hurting and not being able to do anything. So I will take some, I don't want to say cheat ways, but yes, like I'll do some things that make my life a little easier, even if it doesn't make the build as fun or exciting. But I still do feel pretty proud of this build. Like, to me, it's fun and exciting. And I even do some landscaping, which I'm still not confident at. I will take landscaping advice any day of the week, if you have any. I usually just layer random plants and hope it looks good. That's my approach. So yeah, if you do have any opinions and feedback, or if you have a favorite way of gardening or favorite plants that you like, that you think really goes well together, please let me know. Personally, my favorite, I don't get to use it very often, but my favorite landscaping combination is the vampire stuff and the werewolf stuff. Like all of the vampire and werewolf plant life, mixing and matching all that sort of stuff together, it just, you can make this, I wouldn't say scariest, but like you can make a gnarly old garden that just seems so run down, and it looks so good for what it is. Like it looks bad, but it looks good in the fact that it looks bad, you know? Like, it's a rundown garden, but it looks amazing. I feel pretty confident in that, but that's about it. Everything else I'm not too sure of, so yeah, that's pretty much it with the build though. I just go around doing some terrain paint. I've seen people I've done this before in the past as well, terrain paint under the edge of the building to kind of make it look like it has a weird little shadow, and I'm not too sure about I don't know, is there even a point to have done it or whatever, but I did it. I tried it out. So definitely let me know, like, is it worth it? Does it make a difference to you? Because honestly, by the time I get to this point of the build, I'm kind of a little, I don't want to say burnt out, but just like, sure, I don't know, I'll just do this, I'll just do that. And that's as far as my little brain will go with thinking. So if you guys do see a difference, I'd definitely love to know, because I don't necessarily think I do. But anyway, here are some screenshots. I did add a bit more landscaping. I didn't record it, but just on, there was a blank space right at the end. I added it over there, on the outside of this room. So this is the little room where you can meet the dog, introduce your dog. This is like the dog playroom, I guess. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, definitely let me know down below. I'll definitely take your feedback into account. And if you want to see more stuff like this, definitely make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.